G'day, my name is Marcus Hugenschmidt. I'm the CEO of Jam Cyber. We're having the Cyber CEO session once a week where we discuss in a few minutes some rather technical terms around cybersecurity in a non-technical way. Today we're talking about what is DNS Based Protection, or some people refer to it as WebProtect. Before we can discuss what DNS-based protection is, we need to first understand what DNS is. DNS stands for Domain Name System. And the way I like to describe it, it's basically the phone book for the internet. And the reason why we need a phone book is the same as we have a phone book in real life, and that is if you want to find, Marcus Hugenschmidt, you're going to look for Marcus Hugenschmidt. You're not going to look for my mobile number because that's really hard to remember. And so similarly, if, for example, you're going to Google, you can see here I've done a ping earlier where we basically call the DNS, we call the phone book and say, hey, what is google.com? And the number behind that is an IP address, which is those blocks of 4 numbers separated by a dot. So when you go to google.com, you're likely to go to this number, 172.217.167.78. But of course, you couldn't remember that. And that's what the DNS is here for. So it's really like the phone book for the internet. And what we do when we use DNS-based protection is that we use that mechanism. So every time your computer accesses something on the internet, it goes here and it looks up that IP address, and then it goes to that IP address. So I'll just stop drawing here for a moment. And then the data comes back to your computer. That's how every internet access on your computer fundamentally works. And it's irrespective of whether you go to google.com or whether you're looking for an email or whether you use a telnet client or whether you use a command prompt to ping something. The moment you try to reach something that is out in the internet, actually even in your local net as well, but for the purpose of this exercise here, the moment you try to reach something out in the internet, it will try and resolve the place you want to go to in the domain name system in the DNS. And that happens usually with your DNS provider, but this is where DNS protection clicks in. So we basically control this book. Rather than just going and saying, oh yeah, look up any number, we can go and say, nah, if you want to look stuff that is deemed hate, then we block that. You will not see that site, or you won't be able to connect to that email server. So we can structure that. And the beautiful thing about this approach is, across the internet, there's databases where, gun websites, porn, hate websites, Nazi websites, even political or dating pages, whatever it is, where you can then go and say, nah, I don't want my staff to use that. By default, if we use Webroot DNS protection, but by default, we always basically block illegal content. So websites like Silk Road, which is, drug eBay for drugs, basically that kind of stuff. The other thing we block by default is known bad pages, in particular phishing pages or other illegal or malicious really pages that are known. Just blocking them basically means that if a user does do the wrong thing, they can't do that. The reason why this is such a beautiful system is it's super fast. There is no scanning. All we're doing is we're just making sure that you're using the right phone book. So you're using our DNS or the Webroot DNS rather than the one from your internet provider. So it's usually super fast. The other benefit, especially at the time of work from home, remote workplace, is it works anywhere. It doesn't matter. And if you implement it on a firewall level, it actually works also for BYOD, bring your own devices or contracted devices on premises. But irrespective, the most important thing is that if it's deployed to a device, it works at the macros, it works at your internet cafe, it works in your office, it works at the staff's home, it works everywhere. And another nifty little thing about it is it allows you to track. So if you've ever wondered about employee productivity, through some analysis of the traffic, we can also make some, fairly good guesses about productivity. And we're actually in the process of developing an employee productivity report, which, amongst other things, will use that kind of data. But it can be quite interesting because it's basically tracking what people are doing with their internet activity. Now, I always say at the end of the sessions, antivirus and this DNS-based protection is usually part of the Webroot Antivirus solution. This consolidated is 47% of your protection level. Always make sure you contemplate or work with your IT or a cybersecurity partner to implement the essential 8 controls recommended by the ACSC. That adds about another 30 or so percent to your protection level. By the time you add end user awareness training and a few more bits and bobs, you get to where you need to be and protect your business appropriately. And that's that for today. If we can help you with anything else, reach out to us anytime or have a look at our website. Thank you so much for your time and have a lovely day.